Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Yasa Shiny, also known as just Yasa, and thank you for joining me for another watercolor video. Today's video is a little bit different because I'm actually talking over this video instead of just having music playing over top of my painting process. So I decided I wanted to try out a different format. Occasionally you see me pop up text in my other videos if I have comments that I need to make. Very few and far between when I do that, but sometimes I do just have a little comment here and there that I want to put into the video. But you are free to let me know down in the comments below if you actually prefer the voiceovers or if you would prefer to just have the music. And then if this video you don't actually want to hear my voice, you're free to mute the video and just put your own music on, but keep watching. This one is actually a little bit longer than some of my other videos, so I've been allowing my videos to go on the bit of the longer side more recently and showing more of my watercolor process. It depends on the type of video where I allow more of those visuals to come through, because if I included all of it, it would be hours long. Though it's not too long in the grand scheme of watercolor paintings. I think this painting in total took me about 2 hours, so it's not the longest watercolor painting ever. The professionals definitely probably take a lot longer because they're doing a lot more and they're letting the paint dry longer. I am not quite as patient. But yeah, this one is pushing it for almost the longest video, if not the longest video on my channel. I'm not quite sure, but if you enjoy these longer form videos, feel free to let me know. I think the biggest trouble and struggle for me is just finding music to span this long. In a couple of other videos I decided to just pick one royalty-free piano piece and just have that loop the whole video, but I'm like, that can get boring after a while. So I decided to go back to the lo-fi that I used in some of my earlier videos and just see what is working. I'm testing out a bunch of things. By the time you're seeing this video, I have already finished this journal. I'm not working in it right now. Right now you're watching me work on these external pieces that I will end up pasting into my actual watercolor journal. But I have actually finished this watercolor journal. I have actually started 2 other watercolor journals at this point, and I have completed like 9 pieces in total between the 2 of them. And probably going to be working on more shortly after, later today, tomorrow, which really just shows how far behind I am when it comes to uploading these videos. I didn't know when I first started this channel how often I would be painting. It kind of pushed me to paint more because I really like the idea of having finished sketchbooks, and I don't have a lot of them. I am proud of myself for actually finishing this one. I finished this journal actually July 13th, and I recorded the sketchbook tour like 2 days later. So you're watching this in September, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind in the upload scheduling, and because I have found that I am painting so much more than I thought I would be and going at a rate that's faster than I anticipated, especially when I stop pressuring myself in my sketchbooks to do such complicated works and actually do just looser pieces as well, then I decided that I can upload a little bit more frequently and not be too upset about the fact that I may not have content in the future. I think I'm pretty well set up to actually post them a little bit more frequently because I have about 2 months worth of content if I kept going at the rate that I was going, which is 1 video a week, which is why in these past couple of weeks I believe you have noticed I've uploaded 2 videos a week. So that means if I do that, I have like 2 months left. Not 2 months, a month left of content to actually upload. And by that point, I will definitely have more paintings scenes that are ready to go and recorded. A little bit about this painting before I move on to my other sketchbooks I've already started. This one is I call it the garden house or the greenhouse, but I honestly am never sure what to title my pieces. A lot of times they don't really have a clear subject in mind. I just think of something that I like, or I have one specific image in mind within the piece, and then I just make something based off of it. So I don't really always have a clear title in mind for my pieces. This one I call it the greenhouse simply because of all the plants and the greenery around them. So that was why I went for the title that I did. Now these characters are all animals, as you can tell, but they're actually based on D&D characters. I talk in my watercolor sketchbook tour that there are actually quite a few pieces in here that are based on D&D characters, so when I upload that you can see a little bit more in depth what I mean when I say that. But the pink bear is based on a character named Mika, who is actually a tiefling and belongs to Strawberry Witch, who is the DM for that campaign, so Mika is actually an NPC. The bear next to him is actually a bear. He's a bear fairy. His name is Chu. He is mine. He is very cute. Mika and him get along very well. And the bunny on top of the pink bear is also my character. Her name is Illume. You've actually seen her a couple of times on this channel at this point. When I don't have any idea what I want to do, a lot of times I just default to Illume or a bunny. So yeah, they are all very good friends. And also the shark at the top, his name is Miska, also my character. He is also very cute, very goofy. This quartet is very fun, very goofy, very silly. From the little snippets of their relationship I've seen, they get along very well and they're very cute together. So I love them a lot. They all have very silly, chill, goofy energy, and they need that in the stressful environment that is their current setting. Granted, things have been better, but you know. And then at the bottom, when you will eventually see me paint him, I'm painting the tree that he will eventually be watering. That is a black tiger that I based on the character Tora, who is the more sane, responsible member. Not really of this group, but he is Mika's partner. So that is why I included him in this, and when you see the composition of the piece, you'll see why it is the way that it is. But his name is Tora, and he has the fighter name Black Tiger, I think. But yeah, I really wanted to capture kind of like the contrast. On one side of the page you see the goofiness of those four, and then you see Tora minding his business, a little bit disappointed in them watering his plants because he loves plants. So that is the composition you will eventually see. I think you probably saw it in the preview if you looked at it, at least part of it. But I really like this piece. This is actually one of my favorite pieces. The mechanic on this is non-existent. It is literally just me pasting elements on top of the main background. And I really love this piece. It is one of my top 5, and in my watercolor sketchbook tour, I actually list my top 5 and I write it at the beginning of the journal what my top 5s are. So this one did make it in there. I also really like the colors. I feel like this is one of my more cohesive pieces when it comes to the color scheme. A lot of times I have a little bit of trouble when it comes to colors, and that is one of the reasons why I kind of am excited to move on to a more limited color palette for my watercolors. I really love this watercolor palette that I have. It was a gift from my brother to me during Christmas, and it really put me back into watercoloring again because I had a bunch of watercolors, but they were cheaper and the colors were not exactly what I wanted. They're like pastels and glitter, and there's a lot you can do with that, but it wasn't a sufficient enough color palette for me. So I don't really use them too much. I use them for accents in certain pieces. You've seen me use it in a previous piece with Illuminate again in the bathtub, where I tried to do a pull tab technique for the page. Like when you open it, it actually pops it up a little bit. That was a failure. It did not go the way I wanted, but yeah, you see me use those sparkly glitter watercolors in that video, but otherwise I don't use them as my main one. And here you see the actual main piece that I'm working on, the sketch, and therefore the background. I have already started 2 other sketchbooks. One of them is a sketchbook that I actually am making solely flower focus. The theme is rainbow florals. So every single page that I do will be a color of the rainbow for my flowers. And because I've already finished my first set of rainbow florals, the way I have it set up is I have my first flower, which incorporates as many colors of the rainbow as possible, and then after that I go in the order of Roy G. Biv, and then after that I restart with the rainbow floral. Now I think occasionally I may do like a black and white flower because of the fact that black is the collective, all of the colors, white is the absence of color. So that is one of the reasons why I am going to allow that to be an option as well. And yes, I did start this rainbow florals sketchbook on July 15th. So very soon after I finish this journal that you're watching me paint in right now. I'm still using the same watercolors. I have spent a lot of time on Etsy contemplating buying other handmade watercolors because they always look so pretty, but I have talked myself out of it so many times. It's like dice for me. I need to stay away from them. The other cool thing about this sketchbook, which you will also see me show off in the watercolor sketchbook tour for this journal, is that it is made out of tree bark, which is very cool. It is a tree branch that was cut up to make the cover out of wood. So you'll see what I mean when I actually show it off in that video. I love it a lot. It is very cool. That also means you have to be a little bit careful that you don't actually pull at the wood, the bark, or get splinters. So that is something that I've also noticed, but it is very cool. I got this off Etsy. In my sketchbook tour, I'll actually link to the Etsy seller so that you can look at it too. And I also have another one where I'm just going to be painting people as my core subjects, and I've only done 2 of them thus far. My first one was on the 25th, and my second one was on the 25th of July. So you could tell that I went through it, the first 2 pieces relatively quickly. To be fair, my first piece in here I actually started the day before, but I left it overnight to dry before I went over again, so that is why they're both finished technically on the same day, even though I started one the day before. The other one was a lot simpler, so I didn't feel the need to let it dry overnight to layer on more color. But I have a few more pieces in mind for them. I don't know if I record the whole process for my people journal, which I also got on Etsy. You'll see it in my sketchbook tour. I keep saying that. You'll see all those in the future, but like I said, I have finished quite a few in there, so you have a lot of content coming up in the future. Speaking of content, I am considering whether or not I want to actually upload some of my gameplay videos, because I have in my channel description that I am also a video gamer and I enjoy playing video games, and I have an island on Dinkum that is set up in creative mode because Dinkum recently released from early access, and they released creative mode, and I was working on an island and I recorded all of that. I'm contemplating whether I want to upload those videos or not. We'll see. I really need to make a decision soon though, because they take up a lot of space on my computer, and so I would like to free that up. I need to figure out whether or not I want to upload those. If you are interested in seeing my Dinkum builds, feel free to write that in the comments down below. I kind of fallen off of Dinkum, which is why I'm contemplating whether or not I want to do it or not. It's not that the game is no longer fun, I just kind of ran out of ideas of what to do. So there is that. And I'm sure there are other video game content that I may have in the future that I will upload. I don't always record everything that I'm doing, so it's really whatever I feel like showing off or not. Dinkum is one of them. Honestly, if I played Core Keeper more alone, I would, but I mostly play it with my friend Strawberry Witch, linked in the top right corner and probably in the description at this point because I've mentioned them several times, and any other games that I may be interested in. I don't know, this may just stay mostly in our channel. We will most certainly find out. But if you're interested in seeing more of my content, please feel free to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment down below, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. I want to hear it all. Anyway, that is all I have for you now. Please enjoy the rest of this watercolor video. If you got any inspiration, you are doing your own kind of paintings, you're doing your own kind of art in any context, let me know as well. I want to hear about it all. Talk to you later.